AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
I don't see nobody in the building. Awkward time. Awkward time. Especially to show you guys our sponsors. The more people we get in the building, the more we got to show our sponsors, because that's how it goes. We got some StreamYard bills to pay. And some other bills to pay. Knicks. They broke a 3-game winning streak. Excuse me. They broke a 3-game losing streak. Is it back in order? Is Knicks Rehab bugging out? Are we going crazy? I don't know. But we're going to get to it. Only one place to do that. It's all in your face. It's lunchtime. I know y'all are at work, not working, man. You're on your phone. Some of y'all are at home. No jobs. Hustling. It's New York, baby. See 5 people in the building. 2 from Fabian Perspective. Thank you for joining us. AllBall TV channel. Thank you for joining us. I'm waiting. Maybe we'll get to 10, get it cracking. In the meantime, in between time, let's talk about them damn Knicks, man.
Knicks Rehab.
Knicks Rehab, y'all. Let's get into it. Knicks. They beat the Chicago Bulls last night. Second game of a home and home. Josh Giddey was killing. He had his first triple-double of the season. Vucevic, I think he's very dirty. I think he punches people in the nuts on the low. Very interesting stats that I'm reading here. Brunson had a big game, another 30-point effort. And the Knicks knocked down 47% of their shots from 3, 20 of 42. The Bulls entered the game leading the league in defensive 3-point percentage. So that's pretty major. That means they play the 3-point line well. And the New York Knicks had 46 points off the bench. And they were averaging 18 points per game during the 3-game losing streak. The bench was averaging 18 points per game. After leading by 8 at halftime, the New York Knicks scored 37 third-quarter points. They knocked down 5 of 10 from 3 in the third. So that third quarter, they played great. But the third quarter in Chicago, they played great because we were getting killed there as well. We gave up, I think, was that 70 we gave up over there? And I guess we're not excited because of the way we've been losing. And of course, it's a work in progress that we keep saying, keep talking about. And a couple of things I noticed. I think a lot of our losses, all 3 losses, came on the road. So we're 0-3 on the road so far this year. I don't know how great that is, being that you have to win on the road if you're going to be a championship team. And so far this year, can we preview this? The Knicks, funny. So far this year, the Knicks are 0-3, And these are the championship odds for all the teams that have not won a game on the road this year. I'm gonna get rid of this overlay so it doesn't get in your way. The Knicks lead the way with a plus 1,200 odds to win a championship this season, but they're also joined by the Wizards, the Nets, the Phoenix Suns, the Utah Jazz, and the Dallas Mavericks, and of course, and the Pelicans over there. And I think the Pelicans didn't just play in Mexico City. Was that Dallas? But none of these teams are expected to win a championship. So that's what's significant about not being able to get this going early. Of course, you want them to come out aggressive and go crazy, but the Knicks still have this high of championship odds. And we showed some promise yesterday, but the other thing about winning at home, if we can make sure that this turns into a danger zone for any visiting team, at least we can get that down packed and figure out whatever we have to figure out on the road. Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby, they both were off on the road this year so far. I think OG Anunoby shot really pretty bad those last 3 games in the 3 games leading up to last night. Actually, he shot well against Boston on, was that Friday? So before that, he had 3 games where he shot 1 for 6, 4 of 12, 2 of 7. So that's 6, 7, 7 of 25 before the last 2 games against Chicago. So there's something that he might see against Chicago where he sees food, and he scored back-to-back 20-point games against Chicago. It's something that OG Anunoby sees. He plays aggressive. Only 2 turnovers in the last 2 games for him against Chicago. So he likes playing against them. He shot 47% yesterday and 70. He shot 10 of 13 from the field on Friday, and we just couldn't take advantage of it, of help from him. And maybe I'll take a step back from what I said yesterday about him starting the game off with 3 possessions in a row, because I thought it was like, you want to start 3 possessions in a row with an OG Anunoby play. You know, everyone knows I'm a big OG Anunoby fan, and he's still herky-jerky, but to get him going like that is almost like how we feel about any center in the league, or traditionally how we feel about centers in the league. You got to feed them to get them going. They're going to anchor a defense, and they do a lot of the dirty work. And that's what OG represents for us. That's what any defensive player in this league does. And, you know, OG's not really he's not really a point of an attack guy unless he's at the top of the key. He's more of an attack, like the passing lanes. He's sneakily coming on off the ball. He's gonna double team you, come out of nowhere with the help and disrupt a lot. He takes a lot of chances, a lot of time, and we saw, you know, you see plenty of mishaps when he takes chances, but then, you know, he's like a big time cornerback or safety in the NFL that just can turn a game around and have these, you know, swings. So instead of giving up 2 points or 3, you'll have more of a chance to have a 4-point swing or a 5-point swing, because he's able to steal the ball and just disrupt your offense. And he's pretty much the biggest disruptor on the team. Mitchell Robinson, you saw yesterday, that's what he is too. He just disrupts everything you got going. He disrupts your rhythm, man. Big Mitch. Tired of talking about him. We know what it is with him. Like with Mitchell Robinson, there's no talk about effort. It's just about if he's healthy or not, right? And with OG Anunoby, we haven't really had to talk about his health the last two seasons. Well, last year and now starting this year, we don't even think about his health, except for me, because I'm such a big fan of his and just what people like that, disruptors, can do. Him, Cat, and Mitchell Robinson are going to be the guys that they're so such a part of the core and such a part of what we deem can be successful that it's tough to think about them, getting hurt and stuff like that. Karl Anthony Towns, I think what we haven't talked about enough is the fact that, yeah, he's had games where he had 5 fouls. So against Miami and Milwaukee back to back, the first 2 games on the road this year, he started off with 5 fouls. But outside of that, Karl Anthony Towns, he had 4 fouls against Cleveland, and then 2 fouls against Boston, and two fouls against Chicago last night. Oh, excuse me. The first 3 games. So he only had 1 foul yesterday against Chicago, and the first game against Boston, he only had 2, and the first game against Cleveland, he had 4. And we haven't seen him foul like crazy and get charges or nothing like that. I don't think that's been talked about enough, and I just realized it today. So I don't know if anyone's talking about it. I don't know if we want to credit Mike Brown and just the communication that I may have to take a step back on. Please said it last night. Do you want him to coach or not, Mike Brown? And if these kind of conversations where he's, basically, it looks like he's trying to like play the telephone game on the court. If it leads to Karl Anthony Towns not getting as many fouls and just constantly communicating with the players like, this is what we need right now, that's good, that's bad. And then the explanation, I think, is what we're witnessing in real time. And it's an education of Mike Brown's system and all that in real time that we're watching. So I could take a step back and have to deal with Mike Brown communicating loquaciously on the court. And obviously, Karl Anthony Towns and the Knicks haven't looked up to par the whole season. They just definitely not championship par, because that's what we're really judging this on. And any fan that you think is overreacting, it's all about, because this is what we think is a championship effort or a championship season. We thought the East was up for the taking, and we would meet anybody in the Western Conference. And because of that, we're saying you have to have a championship level effort at all times. It's almost like we don't want to deal with evolution in real time. And that's what you have to, that's what you get from the fans. That's why they get paid to ignore us, because we're going to go crazy. And yesterday, part of the reason why I was frustrated with Mitchell Robinson, again, getting hurt, limping, going to half court, he came back. Great effort from him. I don't want to act like that's not a valiant thing. Who else? Imagine being 7 feet, lanky like that, and but it is what it is. He was drafted at that point in his career for that reason, because if he was healthy his whole college career and there was no question about his health, I think he probably would have went higher in the draft. And we've had a couple of years with him in there, and we've seen this over and over again. So part of the reason why I got frustrated was yesterday with him was because Flea was saying over and over again, like, yo, man, when is this project going to be over with him? I think we all believe like Mitchell Robinson healthy is just, he's different. But we've seen it with Robert Williams III and the additions to the Boston Celtics that season. They traded him for Drew Holiday. They went to the championship. They got the championship. And just watching the game last night, frustrated, just going in there locked in more than anything else. Like, yo, we got to get this win. There was no celebrating. There was no fist pump. And it was dope to see Jalen Brunson feel the same way. Like, everybody can say whatever they want, but that's our guy. And he's on the court, no nonsense. I didn't see him laugh too much. He was talking with the ref a little bit. He wasn't even talking to the ref that much. Remember last year he would be out of control with the ref sometimes. Him and Josh Hart would just go too crazy. And this year, Brunson, I ain't been not too much chatter, and it's not as like loud. I think he's taking way more of a controlled approach, controlled chaos when it comes to talking to the ref like that. And Josh Hart he's starting to get into midseason form because he's starting to go crazy on the refs. Like when the crowd quiets down, you can hear Josh Hart going crazy. He's just talking nuts, but that's who he is. But I digress. Jalen Brunson, I like to see that look on him because I think shout out to Fish and Flea was on last night with Knicks Rehab, and we spoke to Jalen Brunson's leadership. And it's like there's not one way to lead. And we're always gonna bring up the greatest leaders of our time or in our lifetime in basketball and whatever sport. And they point to the regulars, right? Like, I don't know if Magic came off the way that they did. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, is he a leader? Like, we always talk about all these great leaders, and he's in the GOAT conversation. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wasn't no leader. He didn't sound like he was a leader. He just sounded like he got on the court and led that way. Dirk Nowitzki, he wasn't a great leader. So that thing is kind of, thrown out there. Like Brunson, I don't know if he's a natural leader vocally, but I think there's a lot on him now because he's the face of the Knicks, and everyone else, they don't want to take that on. Julius Randle was here. He didn't want to take that on. We seen Carmelo. He took it on. I'm not sure if he took it on the same way as Brunson. Brunson's clearly not as talented as Carmelo Anthony, but they had a game plan for him to come here, and they had the same connection with Leon Rose to the Knicks. So I love what I see with Jalen Brunson and yesterday. Like, if I see more of that, I'm cool with it. No nonsense. I'm trying to win a chip, man. Like, this is no joke. There's a lot more on the line for him, more so than any other Knick. And I think that's not talked about enough. I don't know what player in the league right now, like, this something, this might sound far-fetched, but Luka right now in LA, he's in honeymoon. They're in a honeymoon phase. Brunson over here in New York right now, we're past the honeymoon phase. We've been to an Eastern Conference Finals. They traded for Cat. Your godfather's a general manager. They're gonna get this from us. He told Josh Hart, stay off the internet, basically, because he knows how we give it up. We go crazy. So if you're in New York, it's not like you're not gonna hear something that won't resonate. You're gonna hear criticism that resonates because you're dealing with this ain't no other city. I don't want to disrespect any other city. I don't know if LA comes close. I don't know what sports town you're gonna get this mixed bag of water cooler talk when all we do all day long is filter our arguments based on what we've seen, and then you challenge your own opinion with other, like right now on on this channel, Knicks Rehab, we challenge each other's thoughts. That's what goes on in New York every day. So you might hear a crazy version of an opinion, but it's filtered in New York. You got people that are so bold that they'll vocalize it. Excuse me. And Josh Hart should stay off the internet if he can't handle that. Get the hell off your podcast. Let somebody else run all that. Stay focused. We seen him on the sideline the other day. He was sitting on the bench, and I seen a whole bunch of, I think, Knicks fan TV. I seen a whole bunch of fans saying like, "Yo, we got you, Josh," and they were building them up. And I think there's nothing wrong with that because I am tired of just booing certain players publicly like that. At some point, it becomes redundant. We've seen it with Julius Randle, shortstop for the Mets, when his man was here at second base, Baez, and you boo them, and it doesn't. I don't know if it helps because every other city now is doing the same thing. Every other city trying to be like New York. They're trying to boo their players, and we used to do that. We grew up doing that in Yankee Stadium. They were famous for doing that. But Josh Hart, to me, is not a guy to really boo like that because he gives his effort no matter what. And he had a terrible game against Chicago the first time, and this time he played amazingly. Like, he embodied how he played yesterday against the Chicago Bulls. He really did. He really did. Just to be able to be Obviously, he scored well and scored way better, but it was more or less the rebounding, the effort, and the controlled chaos. Like Jalen Brunson, again, like I said, he's leading the way with that. And I didn't even know that Jalen Brunson said this about Josh Hart. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's see what Jalen Brunson said about Josh Hart yesterday.
I saw Josh Hart, the one we know and love.
Jalen just said that's the Josh Hart we know.
Yeah, I mean, it was just um, 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 excuse me, I'm doing interviews.
I saw.
Oh, so they're being silly. But just to get him back like that, it was probably Brunson that did that. Definitely want to see him being comfortable. You know, I think Josh Hart is so energetic and frenetic that he can lose himself. I think anyone who you see us when we go live, you when you have a mic in front of you, when you're this is all a performance. Once the lights and the cameras come on and you're in front of people and you have to perform, I don't care what anybody says. Some people do it naturally, they're okay with it. Like Ant-Man seems like he's so perfectly fine with, being an extrovert in front of 30,000 people. But everybody's not like that. And Josh Hart, he can, but he still loses himself because he goes crazy. Like the way he talks to the ref, you can tell he's just like, oh, and he has to control that. And shout out to Jalen Brunson for publicly saying like, yo, man, enough is enough, bro. Get off social media in his own way, of course, because, he's Derek Jeterish. And I think we covered the home. We're 3-0 at home, 0-3 on the road. We'll show you the championship odds with that. And, of course, the chemistry, I think, as far as chemistry is concerned, that was the first time last night that we really were playing on the same page. And it felt like we tried, there was a game plan, and then throughout the game, we were locked in. You can't expect that for 76 more games. Obviously, it's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be people getting hurt, but the message should be clear. And one of those messages should be, yo, we're not going to shoot like this every game. Chicago Bulls just came in here with the best defensive 3-point. How you say that? Best team defense against the 3-point shots. You're not going to get that every game. 2 of our 3 wins. You got Cleveland, first game of the season. It was up in the air. We don't know what to expect, right? Remember, we got blown out by Boston last year, first game of the year. So with that we won, and we got to give us props because a dub is a dub. And then with the Bulls game, that's a home and home. You rarely ever expect teams to win a home and home against good teams. Excuse me, number one. Number two, Chicago isn't necessarily, they don't have championship expectations. To defend the 3-point line in that manner, to lead the league in defending the 3-point line, that's a championship thing to do. But there are other things that don't allow them to be on championship level. So home and home, you expect the odds are in favor of the Knicks in that case if they lost the first game, right? If it was in reverse, we would be much more okay with it because when beating a team back-to-back, a home and home is insane, especially when that was red hot in the Bulls. That's something else that ain't talked about. We didn't stress enough that the Bulls came in there red hot. The Spurs were red hot until yesterday. OKC is red hot without Jalen Williams. The 76ers look like they're going to play. They're red hot right now. As soon as they get more tape out on BJ Edge, Coleman, these guys, I'm pretty sure you'll see more of a challenge against them. But we haven't even gotten hot yet. And I don't know if we were hot last year. When we got hot, it was against bad teams, and I felt like there was more that we could do. So the best that we played last year was in the playoffs. Right? Like the best that we played last year was in the playoffs. It was not during the regular season. Cat played his best at the beginning of the year when he was shooting with his left hand, finishing with his left hand, shooting jump hooks with his left hand. So you had to you couldn't even guess which way he was going to shoot the ball. But after that, Brunson had, we lost to the Wizards. And Brunson had to score 55 on one game against the Wizards, and we played them tonight. What the hell do we expect? Before we get to expectations, you know me. In order to see the expectations and put it all together, you got to keep your eyes on the prize, baby Bubba. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Tonight, Knicks playing the Wizards. It's a back-to-back, y'all. It's a back-to-back. Remember, on Prize Picks, they do more or less. So what we got? We're looking at Karl Anthony Towns, more than 11 rebounds. Looking at Jalen Brunson, he's on a hot streak, more than 25 points tonight. You're going to go with OG, scoring, doing more than 2 3-pointers tonight. He's starting to pick it up. Got a lot of options here for y'all, man. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Let's preview this Wizards game. I threw the link in the chat in case you guys want to talk for a little bit. Been on for a half hour. I had some stats on the Wizards that I lost all of a sudden. What happened, man? I guess I could read it out loud. The Knicks versus the Wizards. The Wizards, I think the biggest thing about this is going to be the Wizards are second in the league in pace. The Knicks have been talking about pace since the offseason. I'll pull this up for you. The Knicks have been talking about pace since the offseason, playing faster. You got offensive rating for the Washington Wizards. They're 28th in offensive rating and defensive rating. Hence the record 1-5. They play at the second highest pace in the league right now. The Knicks, they jumped from yesterday to the game before. They were 15th in the league in offensive rating. Now they're at 11th in offensive rating. Defensive rating, the Knicks remain at 16th. They just been horrible. And the pace, it's at 22nd. And I think people are a little upset by that. But I think it showed, and I demonstrated yesterday, the pace it's not crazy. We need to play a little bit faster. And really, I think it's all about playing to our potential. You want to find the right pace for us. You don't want to go crazy and lose yourself either. You know what I'm saying? Who do I see in the mix? I heard the boop. That can only mean one thing. We got a guest in the building. Trillium Guns. What's going on, my brother?
Salute. Happy belated birthday, Fave, man. Salute to the chat, bro. What's good, y'all?
I appreciate it, man. What's going on? How you feeling about the Knicks, man?
stressing me out. But again, you know what else is new? You know what I'm saying? I think we kind of like clicked. I think we hit a rhythm. That last game, I know OG's ready to jump out the window. I was watching the live last night. Yo, y'all had me in stitches, bro. Y'all be wild. But you know, at the end of the day,
Yo,
I think what it is, man, is a combination of things, man. I think Cat is obviously hurt. He's obviously hurt. I think they're trying to downplay it. I think he's trying to be this tough guy, trying to. Oh man, we don't need a hero, bro. Just sit this one out. You know what I'm saying? I think Mike Brown. I understand why he's got this leash, that's this short leash, but at the same time, how I also see it, Fabe, is my man, get it together. You had you had training camp, you had all this to get your rotations in order. I mean, it's only 5 games in, but I still feel like you had all this time to set these rotations. Why are you experimenting mid-game? That's the thing that kind of throws me off. And I gotta agree with my man Flea SPN, bro. Like I'm over this Mitchell Robinson shit, man. I am over it. I love the dude. I got nothing but loyalty for this dude. They're 8 years, but yo, soft as cotton tissue, bro. Like he's soft. I can't, man, and it's killing me. So I'm at a crossroads right now with Mitch, man. I think being that it's New York, we're magnetized, obviously, and it's everything is magnified rather, and it's gonna be looking like, oh man, we're not gonna. It looks like we're not taking the East, so we may not even take the division. I think that's jumping out the window. But when all is said and done, man, the Knicks are just nicking, bro. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, stressing us out, bro. I can't. Yo no puedo más nada, bro. Esto me tiene a mí que, forget it, I'm doing my Ricky Ricardo in the crib, bro. I'm screaming, cursing at these dudes. I'm like, yo, este maldito tipo, ¿por qué estás tirando de ellos? Like, what are you doing, my man? So I get it, bro. But yeah, man, I don't know. What's your take on this, man? What do you think? Where do you think we go from here? Do you think we need to make any moves? What's up?
we can't. I don't think
No, right?
you can't, because December's the first. I think December 15th is usually the first week that they have players that sign an extension that are
Right.
eligible to be traded. You can't trade certain players or force certain players, or even Mikal Bridges. He can't be traded until January, something like that.
Until January, February, I believe, like something like that. Yeah.
So he's not. The
I don't
only
know.
one
I know OG is adamant on this, man. What's your take on Giannis, though? What do you think? Do you think we should make a move if things are falling apart during by the trade deadline? Do we sit on our hands and wait? What do you think, man?
I think we got to get a word on Philly, and if they got an in on Giannis, bro. Because if they do, let's say we hit a stride by the trade deadline.
Okay.
And Giannis is available, or he's still there because he don't want to be in Milwaukee. I don't care what he says now.
Not at all, bro.
And Philly looks the way that they look, even if they are 3 games above 500 or at 500 or at the pace they're at right now, they got the advantage over us, bro. And B, he has a contract extension or whatever. But what's stopping Philly from going, yo, you take on the Embiid contract, we'll give you McCain, or even flirt with giving you VJ Edgecombe, or just throwing it up. I don't know if Philly, if Milwaukee's saying, yeah, we'll take on OG and Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson. Like, the only one that's healthy is Bridges out of all of them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's too much of a liability for them to take back. I don't know if they would do that, man. That's
so I don't know if it's our performance that's really going to be the factor in that Giannis trade now, because that thing came and went when we had the leverage over Philly. Because Philly they didn't know that
exactly. But I wanted to ask you another thing. I wanted to know also was, do you think the media is kind of getting into Cat's head with this whole Cat for Giannis talk? Do you think that? I mean, because I did notice, listen, bro, we human, bro. At the end of the day, I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican, so you know how it is, man. You got your tios in your ear, mira. They're gonna change you, they're gonna trade you, and you're like, damn, bro, like I don't need this right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know.
Even if he's not online, that chismoso ass cousin.
You already know, bro. There's always a primo that's always talking shit like, yo, you heard what I heard?
Yo, Papa,
It's a wrap.
te van a mandar para Milwaukee. So,
Yo, but like, yo,
so
Titi Robesi heard that you was gonna get traded. Yo, it's like,
I agree with that. I think so. I said that from the beginning. Like, yo, I think it's getting to him. I don't want to hear that hurt
I think
business
so.
because when you 7 feet and you skilled like that, something's stopping you from being motivated. Mitchell Robinson always plays hurt. I don't want to hear that, bro. He's too skilled. He's too skilled.
Yeah.
I
I think with Cat is definitely that. I think Cat has the makings and the tools to be that guy, but mentally he's just not that guy. I mean, he's been showing it since he's gotten here that he doesn't want to be the number one guy. He doesn't have that. I won't say he doesn't have the potential because he does. He has the skill set. He just doesn't have that alpha mentality. Like, all right, you know what? Shit's hitting the fan. I'm driving this bus. He doesn't do that. He didn't do it with Minnesota. He's not going to do it now in his, 9th, 10th year? That's not happening.
No.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
But that's a special thing to be because we never asked that about Giannis. Because Giannis is like it's second nature. Like to be like he's a as great as he is, he's a manipulator. He knows how to manipulate the public. Yo, we just saw you on camera in the summertime, Giannis, talk about. I hear you New York is, and all of a sudden, last press conference, where you guys get this from? I never said that. Well, I'm not talking about that. The GM never got to see. Yo, Giannis, you can't fool.
Yeah, he does a lot of double talking.
Plenty of it, sure. But who gets away with double talk? Who gets away with getting the exception of the exceptions? People like that, the great, and he's earned every right to dupe us. LeBron has
he's of the cloth.
Right.
He's of the cloth.
Even Brunson has bought a lot of time in duping us where I was saying earlier, the honeymoon phase is over with Jalen Brunson. Luka and the Lakers right now, they're going through a honeymoon phase. So that, anything that they don't like about him, I mean, he's averaging 41, so there's nothing they shouldn't like about him besides, his defense is still subpar.
Right.
But we don't have the honeymoon phase with Jalen Brunson because, bro, Eastern Conference Finals, your Theo, your cousin, your moms, everybody works for the Knicks, bro. You have now it's over, it's expired, and he knows in the street we're not shy. You will hear from us.
I agree with that. I agree with that to an extent, though. I think for some reason, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong or indifferent, but I do believe for some reason, I think there's a lot of, like, from what I hear from people that I know, right, the Knicks fans that I come across, it's almost like he has that title, that title of the savior still. So it's almost like credit for everything that's right, no accountability when things go wrong. I've seen, don't get me wrong, I get on Brunson, pause. When I see him acting, I'm like, yo, this is not it, bro. We don't need to take these threes, or we don't need to make these moves, or dribble into the, dribbling penetration into three guys and then losing the ball or whatever it is. He's had lapses. And I've noticed that we've been gingerly giving him this, like, hey, you should, fall back from this, or maybe do this a little bit more. But I think we've given him a lot more rope than some of the other people, even more than Melo, dare I say. Because I remember when Melo got into New York, it was almost like instantaneous, like, all right, we're going for the chip. And if we lose this is your fault. Not the fact that we've gutted a roster, or the fact that you had Amari Stoudemire who was punching fire extinguishers, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that, So it's just things like that. But there was no room for that. And granted, in a way, Melo kind of put himself in that position because he wanted to be, he wanted to play for a championship. And kind of like Brunson was more like he landed on our lap, so to speak. Pause. I say that again. But I think that there's a lot more grace given to Brunson because we've had this long standing period of where we weren't even relevant, man. Like, it was so bad. We were so bad that we weren't even relevant. It wasn't until I saw the movie Soul, where they were showing, like, yo, the Knicks just can't get a break. I'm like, all right, cool. We're the lovable losers again. And then, we're starting to turn the tide. But going back to the whole Brunson situation, I think Brunson has, I agree, there isn't no longer of a honeymoon, but I do believe that for some reason, a lot of the Knicks fans give him way too much grace and don't give him enough responsibility on, like, yo, listen, You need to man your ship the correct way. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion.
But I think that's because of the way he came here and the way, again, it's the manipulation marketing aspect of it. He's an underdog. He didn't come here and get traded for a bunch of people like Melo. Like Melo, you came here traded like you were LeBron, and that's what I
Right.
know. I
Right.
criticize LeBron. I mean, Melo like that all the time, and Flea hates when I do it. But yo, dog, what you want me to say? You came here acting like you were Braun. No,
But he
you should have
did.
came
He
here in the
did. He
off
did.
season. Yeah, but if he came here in the off season, I think we would have showed him way more grace. We've been like, yo, we got a low. That team was Raymond Felton, Amari, and all these guys. It was just if he was fit to go in there and dominate or get rid of Amari, because him and Amari
Absolutely.
they didn't fit either. But it would have been
Not at
better with
all.
Felton there, and would have been better with if you got another point guard there. It just would have made more sense if you added somebody else in there.
Agreed. Now, when he got traded, what was that? That was like February of 2010, right? Or something like that, or 2011.
Yeah,
What was that?
around the trade deadline.
So, and I know whatever it was, that was a contract year. They could have just waited, man. They could have. He was coming to New York. You know what I'm saying? He was coming to New
What's up,
York.
people?
Salute, salute, salute.
Heroic, what's going on, man? Heroic Gab, man. Always showing love. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Melo definitely should have waited to the off season. Shouldn't have been such in a rush to get to New York. We did give up a lot of pieces, like you said, Raymond Felton, Tyson Chandler. Like we gave up
Wilson Chandler.
Yeah. We did give up the bag. And I feel like he not only did he put that pressure on himself, but he made it known to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it was Iman Shumpner talking about like, yo, I got to take that shot. You know what I'm saying? Like in those situations, like you got to give me the ball. And I think the same thing happened when the Linsanity thing happened. He was like, fuck that shit. This is my team. Like, I don't give a damn how many games we winning. It's on my back. And I'm the one that's going to take the blame when we start losing. So just throw the reins back over to me. And when it comes down to Brunson, I think we give him that grace, like you said, because he came in from a fucked up situation and he transformed the team. And we can see that excitement. But right now, more so, why I don't put that burden on him so heavy is because look at what he's working with. We don't have spot up shooters. And when you look at the offense, everything is so cutting, creating any sets for like back screens or whatever. Guys are just standing watching. Like I need to see a flex cut in the off ball. I need to see a double stagger screen for Mikal off the ball coming. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to open up lanes for Cat on a double stagger screen. Guy might hedge. He could slip to the basket. You know what I'm saying? While his, those things I'm not seeing, and it really feel like I'm watching last year's offense, but we're just shooting more threes.
I think with this put a cap on Melo, I think I'm okay with however he wanted to play, however he wanted to go about his business. But you got to be able to accept the fact that you came here and there was championship expectations, because that's what you do when you make that kind of trade like that. And with Brunson, he's starting to get to that point, because I like what I saw yesterday, but I can tell I didn't see him laughing yesterday. That was the first time in a while where he's just like, yo,
he was super focused yesterday, man. He was on
another level
around
with y'all. I'm not playing around with y'all. So I think Melo never had, and then you see now with Phil Jackson and Amari, what they said, it's like, yo, bro, y'all were on the team. What are you talking about? You didn't take a pay cut, Phil Jackson. You robbed us. That's what that's when y'all start
crazy work, man. But what I'm saying, M's, man.
But for me, I know when I critique Carmelo, it's about, all right, he's a number one option, but he's not LeBron. So that means everything else on the court, I know his flaws. But once they start going too far, it's like, y'all can't talk. Amari, where was that at 15 years ago? Like you said, punching the fire extinguisher. You didn't hold down Jeremy Lin. Nobody clothesline anybody on the Miami Heat. So with the Knicks, Brunson don't have that problem either. That's another thing.
Well,
we might have to put pressure on him, Heroic, because y'all gonna convince me, because he already has the filter. He has the armor. Theo, Padrino, his was going down. His pops. everybody's on the Knicks, so they can filter
Yeah.
any criticism for Jalen Brunson. Heroic.
Yeah, but let me just one thing about the Melo situation. They got rid of once they got good and made that second seed, they just dismantled that whole roster, starting with Steve Novak. Like, how do you give Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith to the Cavaliers? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, in that moment, I felt like Mike Tomlin when the Browns traded Joe Flacco to the Bengals. How do you trade like those two pieces in your division? Like, what are you doing? Like that didn't make any sense whatsoever. And I felt like the league was trying to sabotage him in a way. I feel like the league wants New York to get the attention, but don't want us to be successful. Because when New York gets the attention, the league make money. Just off of the ratings alone. Like, they don't have to, the league don't need New York to win a championship to make money. Like, the league need those smaller teams like an Indiana and an Oklahoma to win, to make money off of those teams. And so, like, for them just to start shipping away all his pieces that he had around him, like, that didn't make any sense. And it felt like it was detrimental to our own organization to give up those pieces the way they did and not get nothing really in return. We got a couple draft picks, and then, you know, after they got rid of him, we go with Fizdale. Like, really, that's the route we going? like they gave up and said, oh, you know, New York fans gonna ride or die regardless. And then during that time, you had the whole transition with the Brooklyn Nets. Like, they start popping off. So it was like shit felt a little funny during that time for me. Being a Knicks fan, it's like, why are we helping LeBron? Like, we not getting him back. Like nobody's coming to New York. You know what I'm saying? Then we went through that drought. Like, Kyrie ran to Brooklyn over New York. KD ran to Brooklyn over New York. Like, them niggas would have been gods if they came to the Knicks. Like, and they didn't understand that. But now, as they look back, it's like that's something they was like, oh, you know, maybe we should have explored that. But then,
if I could, just real quick. I'm sorry. I gotta say, I feel that there's such a New York bias, man, that I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. If Kyrie, Durant, and Harden would have gotten here, we bought the championship. It's not genuine. That they would look for any little aspect to shit on New York. And then, you know what they'll do? I'll tell you how much the New York hate is so real. Knicks win a championship this year, and we're qualified to talk all the shit we want. You want to know what's the first thing they're going to say?
What?
All right, that's cool. Do it again. Do it again. Y'all can't do it again, then y'all trash. That's just what it comes down to. You can't. Trust me. Listen, I'm a Yankee fan, so I know, bro.
Right, but see, now we've entered Yankee territory where I grew up a Mets fan, so we never had them damn expectations since I was like 8.
Right. My pops is a Met fan, bro. It was torture in the house.
Popping, y'all. This is straight lies. This was not a Yankee town growing up. It was blue.
Yeah.
But I think that whole expectation and the mistreatment, that shit it's out the window, bro. Because they had championship expectations from everybody in the media. So it wasn't just us this time. They didn't feel like we were bugging. Let's get to the comments real quick, man. Just real. If Dirk and Nash couldn't do it, Brunson and Cat damn sure can't do it. You need forwards who can defend.
That's true.
Great point.
That's true.
Hold on. Dirk and Nash.
Wait, but they had the Matrix, didn't they?
No.
Nah, that was
during that run. No. What am I talking? I'm bugging out.
Nash went to Phoenix to get the Matrix.
That was when it was the #1 seed and got booted
by Golden State. I think it was that year, right?
Yeah, I think that was that year.
Well, that was after Nash left when Golden State bounced them. They lost to I know Portland. I know they beat Portland because they were torching Rasheed Wallace and Bonzi Wells on the
field. Yeah, I remember that shit. Yes, they were. Yeah.
And Dallas had a crazy team, one of the craziest offenses ever in my lifetime. With Finley, Nash, Nick Van Exel,
Terry. They had Terry. They had who else?
Terry was way after that because Terry was still on Atlanta.
A little bit after.
Who was the kid? Wait, who was the kid who said that he was as good as Shaq, the backup center for them? I forgot his name. Turned out to be a tomato. What was his name?
Not Sagana Job. Is it Sagana? No, it was Sagana Job.
Was it? No. It was somebody else. God, what is his name? I forget his name. Dampier. There you go.
He's from Golden State. He played for Dallas.
Oh wow!
Didn't he say at one point that he was better than Shaq at some point? And I was like, whatever they giving him over there, pass that shit in. I promise.
Crush it and get it off across the country. That was crazy. But see, Woods, appreciate you, man. My fear is that we get rid of Mitch. He will stay healthy, be involved in the offense, and win a title with whatever team he ends up with. Yeah, but I'm kind of tired of that fear. That's really what we say.
Yeah,
I'm done.
What are you gonna do? That's like saying I'm not gonna let my girl go because she'll find somebody else that's better than me, and she's gonna live in a mansion, and I don't give a fuck what she does after that. It's fine. She's not with me. You know what I'm saying? So nah.
You scared she look way too happy on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. The bitch smiled a little too hard in that last story, man. I ain't feeling it.
Losing Arkansas, I think Hart, that was a big hit. I think that was
losing Hartenstein was major, man. Was major.
You don't need me to go down that road. That's the best team in my opinion of my lifetime. We were too balanced.
Without a doubt. Yeah, you talking about the 2 years ago, the squad 2 years ago. Yeah, without a doubt. That was my favorite Knicks team, I want to say, since maybe 96, 97, man. That was like crazy. For real.
We don't get hurt, man. We going to the finals that year.
Yeah, man. I think that, I'll be honest with you, I think that was our year. More than even this year. I think that was the year that we had. I think we were clicking on all cylinders. At one point, everybody was healthy. I mean, it was just even with Tibbs running everybody to the ground. I just felt like that particular year we was on a train where I was like, if we're healthy, bro, nobody's stopping that squad that year. I just find it very hard to believe so.
But think about OKC, how they won last year. They took Hartenstein from us, and we had Hartenstein, Randall, Mitchell Robinson as our forwards. OG at the 3, Dante at the 2, backed up by Deuce and Quentin Grimes at one point. Our bench was Mitchell Robinson, Quentin Grimes, Deuce McBride, and Josh Hart. That was our bench.
Yeah, it was balanced. And that's what we don't have right now. We don't have the balance. And the one reason why I put in the Discord the shot chart from the first Chicago game was look how sporadic our shots were. Like you look at Dallas shot chart, it was either in the paint or a 3-point shot. No mid-range, none of that. And our shot chart is all over the place, and we're not getting assists off of any of these buckets. Like we're getting tough buckets. Like we're not getting the easy buckets that Brown was talking about last night during the press conference. Is we got to get easy buckets. Like every game doesn't need to look so hard. Even if we're winning and blowing out a team by 30, it looks tough. Like it don't look like the game was a breeze. And I think that has to go into why Brunson wasn't smiling during the game, because he's looking like, yo, at any moment, them shots cannot be falling. Like it could get dry real quick. We went from second quarter dropping 40-something points, and then the second half, we couldn't get a bucket the first Bulls game. So I think that mentality is why he's like always locked in and not really enjoying it.
Let me ask you guys, I got a question real quick. Do you think that there's a problem within the organization, within the team, that not everybody's possibly buying into it? Or because I did notice yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw in the first quarter at one point, you see Mikal was kind of like, I won't say barking on OG, but he was like my man, what we doing? And then they had a little conversation, and they went to timeout, and you've noticed it wasn't pleasant, but it wasn't like they weren't beefing. But you can see it was kind of like a miscommunication thing. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Because I was curious about that yesterday, man.
No, I like seeing that. I think Mikal, he balked.
I love it.
On OG, but he was saying get back to everybody. OG just took it personal because he's a diva. I'm starting to see his diva ways now. Like at least Bridges is talking to everybody. And bro, if you gave up you missed a layup, you blew whatever it was, and you didn't get back. Then in the second half, you saw Alan Hahn pointed out. He's like, "Yo, OG came down and blocked whoever. I think it was Josh Giddey's shot in transition, and then it ended up defensive possession, completed it, and they got back and it turned things around." And to Heroic's point, there was a game. Brunson doesn't feel too confident because I think it was against the Celtics. I was on the phone with Flea. I said, "Watch, you got to put Brunson in the 7.5 minute mark because that's what Kerr did with Steph Curry. Brunson got off the bench like the 8:30 mark, not a 9-minute mark, because he's like, yo, we can't put him out. We can't put the nail in the coffin. So, hold on. Tory B in the building. I see you. Yo, Heroic,
Tory B.
jump out and jump back in.
Y'all?
Hold on a second, Tory.
What up, Tory B? What up, sis?
Hold on a second, Thrillium. Heroic, jump out and jump back in because we had a little bit of static going on. Okay, go ahead, Tori.
No, I was patiently gonna wait my turn. I was just saying hello. How you guys doing?
Oh, we chilling, man.
What's up, sis?
I mean, I'm here. I wanted to chime in last night, but I couldn't. I was at work.
Oh yeah.
I went to chime in last night because OG had me mad as hell.
He had us all mad as hell.
He had me mad as hell last night. I'm like, come on, man. You don't come up here cooking like that when we finally stopped our losing streak. You critique, but you don't come up here cooking like that. So yeah, I was mad at him. I was mad at him.
Well, what are you thinking? Because the Knicks, they broke the losing streak with 3-0 at home, 0-3 on the road. But have you seen anything different from last night? You got any more optimism about this?
I mean, Lee was 100% right in his regard where he was like, this is what y'all want. Y'all want a new coach. And this was before we fired Tibbs, right? This is what y'all want. Y'all want a new coach. It's going to be a rebuilding process. Everybody was like, yes, we want him out of here. So in that regard, right? Flea's right. You have to be patient because it's a whole new coach, a whole new system. And these guys, they know each other. And that's 100% accurate what OG is saying, but they don't know the system. They unsure themselves. They trying to do what the coach is telling them, and it's going to take time to get it all together. So to get up here, they should have beat Chicago. Chicago is on top of the East. They were literally undefeated. Josh Giddey out there looking like the best player in the league. That man been cooking for 2 straight games. He had a triple-double yesterday. Am I correct?
Yeah, fourth one at the Garden.
There was a point when he scored and they was like, oh, Josh Giddey, 17 points. And I'm like, 17? I thought he had like 30. It just felt like he was all over the place doing everything, everywhere, at all times. I felt like he was scoring when he was on the bench. Like it was just, he had a great 2 games, and not just against us. He's having a great start to the season.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a ton of growing pains. That first Chicago game, the season period, right? We have not been able to put together, and I'm not talking about last game, a complete game since the season started. Even in those first 2 wins, we didn't play 2 good halves of basketball. So you could see it's still a filling out phase. In those 3 losses, they will put together a quarter, a half, and that's it. But in that last Chicago loss, I felt like even though they lost, they turned a corner because you didn't have, and even in last night's game, you didn't have our usual third quarter of doom. That second half of that Chicago loss, we lost because we gave up 75 points in the first half. Because we outplayed them in the second half. If we had played a quarter of the way we played in the second half and the first half, we would have won the game.
Definitely.
Because that second half of basketball, even though I still don't like how our defense looked, and that second half of that Chicago game, there was a stretch of defense when they was cutting that lead, and they cut that lead down to 4 when they looked like the best team in the league. They were hitting all they shot. I know I'm overselling it, but they look really good. Just in that little stretch. I'm not talking about the whole game. Mitch was on the floor. They was playing great defense. They was knocking their shots down. They looked confident. They looked really good in that stretch. That's something they need to find for the whole game. Go ahead.
No. I like what's funny? I like in the first Chicago game on Friday, I like the way we looked in the second half. And even though we lost, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like it was. I think we just didn't do in the fourth quarter what we did in the third quarter. Like that's what pissed me off about that game. We still could have. It was still winnable. It's just the Cat Brunson chemistry is not there. Too many times, even though Brunson got it going in the first quarter yesterday, and he has the personality to do so, there's too many times Cat is hitting a shot, hits another shot, and Brunson still wants to go crazy. It's like, bro, set the shot up, leave the offense open, or get the ball around so Cat can get this thing. He might get hot right now. Him getting hot is different than you getting hot. It's way different than when Cat scoring 40 than Brunson going. Like, don't get me wrong, Brunson is the underdog hero, but
Right,
it's
31 points a
easier.
game he averaging right now.
Yeah, it's easier for Cat though to get those shots off. He's 7 feet.
But
Let him
this is. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm gonna cut you off.
no, let him go crazy. You know what I'm saying, Tori? Like I
I
don't
agree,
I think there's a frustration
but
with that, and he
I
needs
also
help. He needs help. Cat needs help.
Can you hear me?
You know, yeah, we can hear you, heroic. Cat needs help. I don't say getting ingratiated and stuff like that because he just doesn't have the personality for all that. But
right.
it's not that. If once you get the ball around, give him no choice but to go back to it's 76 games left. Yo, Cat, this is what we talking about, bro. We made 6 passes on this play, and you still giving it up, dog. This is you. It's all in the film.
I just the only little pushback I have, right, is I think in the first like 3 or 4 so games, I think Brunson was deferring a lot.
The first 2 games,
And
definitely.
when they wasn't scoring, he just went back to ISO Brunson. And I feel like he get a lot of criticism for that. But you also have to be patient with him because he gotta unlearn 5 years of ISO ball. Like that's what he played. So when you get into a place where the new coach is telling you to do X, Y, and Z, and it's not working, you gonna do what? Put your cape on and do it yourself. So you gotta give him a little grace because he tried for 3 quarters. I can't get assists if I pass you the ball and you miss. Because these guys are getting those assists in transition, wide open shots. They not knocking them down. OG wasn't consistent. Deuce was going for a couple of games. You know, Josh ain't hitting nothing. Most that's my guy. But you know, especially with the finger injury, his shot is inconsistent. Like you can't rely on him to knock down a bunch of 3-point shots. Like, and that's what this offense is set up to do. It's set up for a bunch of 3-pointers. And I still don't know. This is not, I don't feel like it's sustainable because I don't think that we're a great 3-point shooting team. I feel like they were giving up too much interior scoring for pushing it back out to the perimeter for the 3-point shot. Even though those 3-point shots are wide open and they were wide open because
We lost Tory B to the Matrix. Thrillium.
Sounds like that.
Uh-oh.
Are you back, Tori? I can
I
hear
feel
you.
like I'm here.
You back, you back, you
Yeah,
back,
we can hear
Tori.
you now.
You back,
Oh,
you
okay.
back.
Hold on,
Yeah, no,
listen.
I felt like I was here. No, I
Tori,
just,
do me a favor. Do me a favor. Say that one more
just,
time.
yes.
You think that this 3-point shooting
I
is
don't know what
not
I
what?
said. I don't think it's sustainable. Right? I think we gave up a lot of, and I don't mean, no, don't put your head down. Because it's not that I don't want to see the 3-point shot. It's just that I don't feel like we have as many snipers as other teams, if that makes sense to you.
No, it makes sense, but that's why I don't know if you can hear this, but you make total sense. That's why.
No, I don't. No. I don't think he calls for that, right?
It's not.
I just think. No, wait.
You just
Go
stating the
ahead.
facts. I don't think
No.
I don't think we get the ball around enough. I don't think we have anybody that could really drive and go 1-on-1 to your point about Brunson.
Oh, you know what?
That's
I
what creates
do.
the 3-point shots.
I do think we have that. I do think Mikal Bridges could do that. I do think Jordan Clarkson could do that. I do think Jalen Brunson could do that. I do think Cat could do that. I think we have players that can create off the dribble. I don't want to see OG doing that a lot because he did not work on his handle over the summer, and he
did. Oh wait, he did, Tori. He did, but but to your point, that and you know I'm an OG guy.
I
I'm
love
like
OG.
this. When he's dribbling, yo, if you got
his dribbling scares the shit out of me, bro.
I ball my fist up and I go, oh God. Every single
Every
time. I'm
time.
like,
That's a fact, though.
oh God. Because it looks so clumsy when he go inside. It just looked like it's gonna be an instant turnover. And then a lot of OG OG wants to be. I feel like OG wants to be our number 2 scorer because I feel like sometimes he just be chucking.
It's
When it
OG.
go in,
Yo,
it's fine.
Yeah,
stop, Tori.
But when
I
it
just said
don't, I'm
that
like, why did
yesterday.
he
I'm gonna
shoot
let
yeah.
that?
Tori,
But
I'm gonna let Heroic. Let's let Heroic get in here before
go ahead.
because he's going in and out. But you say that right, Tori? And OG Anunoby has averaged. He had what 21 points, 26 points. He scored over 20 points back to back against the Chicago Bulls. But a 9-point effort, 14-point effort, and a 10-point effort from him. That ain't second option material, man.
No, I
That's
know
what I'm
he's
saying.
not
Like,
consistent, and I just I don't want to keep because I could ramble on forever about
Yeah,
this.
I
The
100%
the
hold on, Tori,
agree.
hold on.
stat.
Tori trying to tell me that she thinks she sounds silly online. Get out of here. You sound amazing. You know how many people sound nuts on here? You can ramble forever.
Sound
That's
like
the
a New
point of this
Yorker.
microphone. You doing your thing.
Thank
But
you, Fabian.
It's a fact.
Heroic, let me know what you think of what you heard so far before we get going.
Number one, OG shoots way too many threes. I think there's so many times where he's just
Makes sense.
sitting stagnant in that corner trying to shoot that corner three where his guy isn't even paying attention to him. He can slip by, take a little handoff pass, get an easy dunk, easy layup. Those are and one potentials. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're not taking advantage of is because we don't have that post presence. You know, before we was able to, get the offense in rhythm by just dumping it to iHeart, and he's going to either dump a floater or he's going to force the defense to collapse and he can kick it out. We don't have that within our offense where guys are driving to attack the basket. Guys are going into the paint, but they're not even looking for their shot. They're looking to kick out. So we're getting a lot of those tip passes that are leading to fast break points on the other end against us because nobody's scared of us attacking the paint. Because our mentality is this spray three mentality. We're not convincing the defenses to collapse on us, and then we get stuck in the paint. We're sitting here trying to figure out who to pass it to because our guys are just standing there. There's no screens, so the defense just stay glued to their guys, and guys get stuck in the paint, especially Jalen Brunson, and he has no one to pass it to. And then we're looking for him to create plays, but guys aren't putting themselves in position. And I think OG is one of those guys where he can run that baseline and he can find easy buckets. Josh Hart is another guy like that. He can find easy buckets. And even if we're not giving them the assist and say JB goes up for, one of his little patented, head fake, hook shots or something like that, we got guys attacking the basket for the rebound. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're not utilizing because and that's why I say let Brunson initiate the offense from the post. Look at Andre Miller, how he initiated the offense because Cat doesn't want to play in the post. Cat don't want to be down there.
I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's accurate.
That's just from what I see. I see him,
Oh,
trailing and just
nobody
standing at the top of the
that's
key.
averaging 13, 14 rebounds don't not want to play in the paint. Don't do that. And I'm not
No,
a huge Cat fan, but
I
don't do
think he's
that.
going into the paint, later in the play clock. But I'm talking about we don't have a guy, running full court, sprinting down the middle within that 15 to 24-second range in the play clock. You know what I'm
But
saying? When it's
the
late
man,
down the
if he
play
not
clock.
fast, he just not fast. But that don't mean he don't want to play in the post. I just disagree with that. But go ahead.
I don't know what
Yeah,
Cat wants.
well,
I gotta push back on that.
You do?
Tori, I love you. I love you, girl, but I gotta agree with Heroic. I think David Lee averaged 10 rebounds and was his shit on the block. So the rebounds don't mean anything. You could just that any basketball player knows that you can get 13, 15 rebounds just being at the right spot. You don't have to be shit on the block. But I'm gonna tell you this: when it comes down to it, the man does not want to play with his back to the basket. He has no post game whatsoever. He has the footwork of a baby deer. He's all over the place, bro. Like he's terrible. And again, he's a phenomenal, yes, great shooter. That's cool. Sleek, yes, he can finish around the rim when he chooses to. But as far as playing back to the basketball post up, I got no faith in him. Absolutely none. Because he doesn't want that.
The
I
most
think we'll.
disappointing that I see was when they played Boston. There was about 3 possessions where they switched and he had Peyton Pritchard on him, and he could not hit the basketball in the post. And I'm just yelling and screaming at the TV, rotate the ball to the other side of the court. Like, you have to feed that guy. Like, that's mouse in the house. Like, and we're not trying to give him the ball. And I feel like that's a lot on him and his mentality. You know what I'm saying? If his teammates aren't saying, hey, let's get him the ball when you got Peyton Pritchard on them, like that said a lot to me about his, but more so what the team thinks about him in the post.
And I just think he was hurt because Tabo New York, great reminder. Kyle Kuzma was pushing him around. I forgot about that, but I think Cat, he has the mentality. We already know. We all acknowledge his mentality, and that's why I came to the conclusion that if he's not gonna come to that conclusion himself, the team has to put the pressure on him, put the tape on, go to the film and go, look, this is what we're talking about. You need to do X, Y, Z. But I want to combine what Tory B and Heroic said together, because OG Anunoby, his handle is suspect, right? But what Heroic said was he's tired of him shooting threes. And I thought about it yesterday. That was the first time I finally seen him with that pump fake, go to the basket and try to yam it on somebody. I think Jalen Smith fouled him. He has to do more of that. There's a lot of times where I'm trying to see him. He was last year was slow on a catch and shoot and a closeout 3. Just pump fake, bro. If they're gonna jump, pump fake, because you know your money from there, and then you get to the basket. That's a 5-on-4. Now you can do what Mikal Bridges is the only guy that does on the team, is try to set up Mitchell Robinson. Nobody does that. So now you got to move for Mitchell Robinson and Cat. And now you made yourself have gravity, as the kids say nowadays. Imagine, would any of us ever have imagined that OG Anunoby has gravity, or we paid him that much attention? Things like that, I think he can adjust from the corner, because that's his money spot. Go in there, pump fake, and try to make something happen and bring the pressure and put more pressure on the defense, y'all. Before we go, I'll let y'all have you guys have the last round here. I think Heroic, you were going in and out, so I want to let you go. Then Tory B, and then Thrilling before he gets going.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right there, where when we're attacking the basket, we're getting to the free throw line. Every game that we won, the 3 games we won, we had the free throw advantage. Every game that we lost, we didn't have the free throw advantage, and it showed. And this is what kills me about our team. Every game this year, we've had more possessions and we have more field goal attempts than every team we played against. So we're getting more shots at the basket than everybody, but we're not getting the ball in the hoop because we're taking low percentage shots. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of 43s a game. I think we go to 30 to 35 and we attack the basket a little more. We're going to get more free throws. We're going to get more assists. We're going to get more guys involved in rhythm. And I think that's going to set up our offense a lot better. And that's going to, open up spots for Shaman. That's going to open up that spray 3 for Jordan Clarkson. And he's a guy, pump fake, can get to the basket and create more gravity. And I think that's where our offense has to get a little more unpredictable in that sense. And I think we could be the best team in the game, and our offense can be our defense. But the way we attack and put that pressure on teams, where we're going to force teams, once we get a good run, to start jacking up threes, to start trying to force it and press a little bit more on offense than they would usually do. And I think that's the mentality that Brown wants to create, with using our offense and using pace to kind of set the tempo and make it easier for our defense to force teams to kind of speed up and get out of their own rhythm. And I think if we could do that by attacking the paint, getting some more free throws, seeing the ball go in the hoop a little bit more, and that'll build the confidence for just our overall game to be a lot better. And I think once we get that established, we're going to everybody's going to get more touches. but I just want to see us rotate the ball from one side of the court to the other side and get the defense moving to kind of, take advantage of those opportunities.
All right, Tori, great comment, heroic. Tori B, let us know what you're thinking.
I think we turned the corner. I think we got a lot of work to still do, but after that last Chicago loss, I saw a little change in them, and I think we turned the corner. I like that Mikal was barking on them for not getting back on defense, and it actually worked because you saw OG hustle down and get that block and then complete that play. I think he got the rebound after that or whatever. But you see the communication amongst the team a little bit more. I even seen a little banter between Cat and Brunson as they was walking to the bench. Like, I like the fact that Mike Brown is tightening up his rotation and giving Clarkson the minutes that he
Great point.
actually needs to thrive in our offense, because those little 2 minutes here, 3 minutes here, 4 minutes here, you can see the man was dejected. Like, you brought me here and you playing me for a minute at a time, 2 minutes at a time. How I'm supposed to get any kind of rhythm in any of these games? So I like that
And,
he's
and
tightening
Tori,
up.
I don't mean to cut you off, but the
Mhm.
fact that Clarkson had that great first half, and then I'm wondering in the third quarter, I said this last night, all right, when do you fit Clarkson in? Because you got Deuce
Right.
and Josh, and he rewarded Clarkson with fourth quarter minutes. So that
Yep.
was dope to see, Tori.
Yep. And I said, I said at first I was pissed. I'm like, yo, the whole third quarter, I'm like, I didn't see him why is he not putting Clarkson in the game? Like, I don't understand. And then we put him out, like, all right, I get it. He left him out there at the end, which is great because that builds his confidence. And that's what he needed, because you could see that he was dejected during them games, putting his head down, shaking his head, walking back to the bench, sitting at the end of the bench by himself. Like, those things play on your mental. So I like that he finally decided to tighten up. But I mean, at the expense of like Holick, which I feel like at a point we need another ball handler. But sometimes the youngins got to sit. So like I said, I think we turned the corner, and not to say that we're not gonna have no more growing pains, because we will. The offense will get shaky, the defense will forget that they actually have to defend, and we'll be crying on or ball be crying on TV. So, so he be telling us that we ain't supposed to lose no games to nobody at any
Right.
time ever. But I like I said, I think we turned the corner, and I'm actually finally starting to see what Mike Brown is trying to put in place. Because for them first 4 games or so, I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't get the rotations. I didn't get nothing. I'm like, what is this man trying to do with this team? I don't understand. But it's not for me to understand. It's for them. I just gotta wait and see, like everybody else. So I think we still need to, just have a little bit of patience, because it's gonna take some time. And I think good things are coming. I still think we're not gonna be anything less than a 2 seed in the East. That's where I see us.
Tori, you way too logical. Thrillium, I'm hyped to what Tori said was true though. Mike Brown holding himself accountable for them substitutions too. So what do you think about going forward? The Wizards, they 28th in the league, offensive rating, defensive rating, both second in the league in pace. So they're gonna push the pace. And we just talked about how OG can attack them. How do you feel about us today going into the game tonight?
I feel that the Knicks will continue their 77-game win streak as of today, and they will not lose another game for the rest of the season. Now, just aside, I gotta agree with Tori. What we gotta do is we gotta make sure that we feature Mitch. That's another component that's not really being talked about enough. I think we gotta get Mitch involved with the offense. I'm not crazy about the amount of threes. And can Cat please stop crashing on the floor after every layup, and then it's like 5-on-4 on defense, and that's getting old, man. Like, yo, my man, you gotta
Stay
use
on
your
your feet.
balance and stay on your
Right.
feet, bro.
To
Stay
be
on your
fair,
feet, man.
to be fair,
Kill
it was only one time I counted in the first game against Chicago, maybe 2 or 3
One
yesterday.
time too many. He did it last night, though. He did it last night,
And
though.
I
He did it last
still,
night.
before we get past Cat, he catching a lot of flack, but that man has the literal most unfavorable whistle on that
Yeah, he
team. And I
does. You're right.
feel
That's very
like in the
true.
NBA,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of people be like, oh, he's soft. Look, anybody just go at him. if you are the opposing team and you know that he got that unfavorable whistle, wouldn't you run your guys at him too? There's a 70% chance that you're going to get the call and you're going to have their second best player sitting on the bench with 2 fouls in the first quarter because the refs just don't give him the benefit of the doubt
That
anytime.
also speaks to his
So,
character as well, though. I think
but
it
I
speaks
don't.
to his character because he doesn't really. He's not the type to work the reps. You understand, Tori? Like he's not. He's not the type.
Mhm.
He's not the way Mike would sit there and pull him like, "Yo, my man, what are you doing?" Or when Melo would be like, he would, no offense, but you would hear Caddy go, "That's a foul."
Right.
Whereas
No,
like
Right.
but
Melo's
even
like,
I
"Yo,
get it.
call that, call that,
not
call
yeah,
that." You know what
but
I'm
even
saying?
I
Melo got a bad call. Like he didn't get. I
He
don't think Melo
did.
got
He
a great
did.
whistle, and
He
he was
did.
more physical than Cat. So I don't. I think there's a political
True.
game with the refs, bro, and I don't. I think it comes more so from the fact of winning and also Cat just being dominant. Like if he would have scored more and like now the NBA office is gonna call the refs like, "Yo, check this out. He can't foul out. We need him on the screen at all times in that game." I think that's how this thing works a lot of times. Because how
For
does
sure.
Brunson get a whistle but Cat doesn't? That makes
Right.
no
It's
sense.
weird.
I'm just saying logically, it makes no sense.
Right.
Hold on, real
But
quick, because Fisher's in the building. Get ready
Oh
for
shit.
some sarcasm
Oh shit.
on the podcast from Fish. What's going on, Fish? Before we get out of here, man.
Man, ain't no sarcasm, man. You're not gonna play with my character like that.
What's up,
I,
Fish?
I agree. I agree with Tori with a lot of she said about Cat, but you know how you fix those calls? Shut the fuck up and play.
Mm.
I
If you
mean,
be
yeah, that's
quiet
easier
and you
said than
play,
done.
at some point they're gonna give you the call. No, if
That's
you
not
play
necessarily true.
and be quiet, it is true. If you
Let
play,
me
you know
hold
why
on.
Brunson gets the
Oh yeah.
calls? Because when Brunson was in Dallas, he didn't say 2 words when he went to the basket.
He wasn't a superstar then
When
either.
Brunson got into the league, when Brunson was at Villanova, when Brunson came into the league, he didn't say 2 words to the referees when he went to the basket. He got those calls. You know how D-Wade got all those calls? Because when D-Wade would get knocked down and get up, he would go down the court and not say a word. And then he started getting the whistles. What Cat's problem is, Cat cries too much. Cat cries when the wind blows.
Yo, let me hold on.
Nah.
Hold
He
up.
cries.
I went to
Come
hold up.
on,
Let
man.
me shut this
Come
down right
on,
now.
man.
Last
It's
season,
Devon.
right? I went to a few Knicks games. I'm in Madison Square Garden. I'm in the middle of the garden, not the floor seats, in the middle section. I was playing against Milwaukee. Cat was getting hit so hard and so much, the entire arena started booing. I'm sitting next to people. They're like, "Yo, you heard that?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. Damn!" Like every play down the court, this man is getting mauled, and he's not getting any whistle. So to say that he complains a lot is absolutely untrue. This man is getting beat up out there, and
It
he's not
is
getting
true.
no respect
You know,
from none of these officials. You can have your opinion on this, but as a person, if you are playing basketball and someone is fouling you every time down the court and you're not getting the whistle, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to start chirping too. That's just
no,
human
let me
nature.
tell
And
you,
when
let me
I
tell you
say
what.
to you that it was horrible, it was horrible. If I'm in the middle of the garden and I can hear it, it's not little tiny little people tugging at your jersey and bumping. You know, they were beating this man up. You could hear the smacks from
Fish,
up in
no,
section
Let me
210.
let me
So
tell
I don't
you.
want to hear
Let,
that. I don't want to hear that. I don't he shut up and
let me
play. I
tell
don't
you
want to
how
hear it.
I
I don't want to
handled
hear
it.
it.
I played ball at every level. Let me tell you how I handled it from high school, college, and
Professional
pro.
ball.
When I
like,
knew the
like this.
referees were, when I knew the referees wasn't blowing the whistle, when I knew the referees wasn't blowing the whistle, I played the first half and didn't say a word. When I came out the second half, I told the officials, "You didn't handle it in the first half. I'm gonna handle it in the second half." And I got physical until they make a decision. Are we gonna let this game get out of control, or are we gonna stop both sides of this battle?
Mm.
You got to put the pressure on the officials. I played with a guy who had a more
Now,
reputation of being soft than Cat. Hold on.
Mm.
I played with a guy who had more of a reputation of being soft than Cat, Tony Kukoc. I played with him in Italy. If you saw Tony Kukoc in that first Olympic game against the Dream Team, how did he play? Soft as cake mix.
Right.
What did he do when he came out in that second game?
He cooked.
He came out, didn't say a word, and he started bodying guys, and he took the respect from the officials and from the dream team to where when he got to the league, he had that respect. He had that respect.
You know what's funny?
You can't you got to make a decision.
But
I'm gonna take both of y'all points
Do
and then
what?
I'm gonna give it to you, Heroic, because I think I understand what Tori's saying, but after what Fish said, it makes a lot of sense. Because I was gonna use Josh Hart as an example. Like Josh Hart be cursing these referees out. And I'm like, yo, he looks crazy, but he also plays physical. Right, but he plays physical. Like he's like, oh, so what Fish is saying, yo, this could get out of hand if I wanted to. So what you want to do? And he how does Josh Hart get calls? How does he get calls? He gets them because I think it's not just the chirping, it's the action on the court. We don't see like Cat's fouls aren't real fouls. He might need to just start hitting people, and that's a part of what we mean by mentality, Tori. Hero, you wanted to jump in real quick.
Yeah, I think when it comes to this, just to any player to get the benefit of the doubt and to get those calls, I think one of the biggest things that Cat doesn't do, he doesn't make those baskets. Brunson, when he's playing physical and he's getting those calls, even if they don't call it or not, 9 out of 10, or I say 50-50, he's going to make the shot. Cat, he's falling away from the basket. He's throwing it up looking crazy. He's falling on the floor. It's not even looking natural sometimes. And I think that's why he doesn't get those calls, even though it warrants a call. If he makes 2 of those shots, I guarantee that third time the ref is going to call the foul before the ball even go up and give him that benefit of the doubt. But if he's not making it, I feel like the refs don't want to sit here and have it as like a bailout every single time. And I feel like that's the difference. Like when Josh Hart, like he makes a lot of those shots when he's going up to the basket and getting all that physical contact. And I just feel like Cat, he's not making a lot of those shots. And it's just looking so dramatic that they don't feel like it's really a fact.
Body
Like,
language.
and that's where I'm trying to
Body
play
language.
in between, but that's just from my perspective. But I agree with Fish take on it that he has to change up how he approaches the refs.
And that Fish, that's a political thing though. Still, what you saying? That's you're performing. Like it's not even just making a shot to Heroic's point because I don't want to.
It's
I
body.
don't want to even.
It's body language.
It's body language, but it's also you don't have to make this shot as much as you have to look like you're gonna try to make it instead of looking for the flop. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Fish. Finish it, and then I'll give it to Thrillium because we got to get going.
That's a lot of the difference between back. That's a difference between a lot of back in the day and now. Is if you look at guys like Mike when they was taking those shots, Mike was still looking at the rim. Kobe was still looking at the rim. They was getting the foul, but they was legit trying to make the shot. They weren't hunting fouls where they would just take the foul and just throw the ball on the ground. They was legit trying to get and ones. Cat, when he gets fouled, cool, blow the whistle, but don't shrug your shoulders, throw the ball on the ground, and look at the referee with tears in your eyes. You're not going to get that call. He better be glad he doesn't have those referees back in the day that you run the clips and you'll hear them. Man, shut. You would hear the referees. Man, shut up and stop crying. And they would tell that to Bill Walton. Shut up and stop crying, you big baby. Be quiet. You're not getting that call. How would they talk to Iverson? You're not getting that call. Keep playing. The referees would talk crazy to you if you started crying for a foul. So finally, a lot of guys started playing bully ball. Charles Barkley, Adrian Dantley, Mark Aguirre. Sometimes you got to play bully ball. Sometimes you got to put the onus on the referee and make him make a call or somebody's going to get hurt. Sometimes you got to do that.
Thrillium, I'll let you get it in so we could get going.
Close this up. Well, fellas, I think, like I said, and this story, of course, I feel that this should not be a trap game. Don't fall in love with the loss or with the win of yesterday. Keep focused with what's going on with what's what's the prize, the eyes on the prize, which is the championship. So what we got to do is again, like just touching on with everything what we were saying, featuring Mitch, getting back on defense, not falling in love with the 3-point shot so much because we don't have Klay Thompsons and Steph Curry's. I do love the fact that they're working with the cuts. I see a lot more cuts in the offense. They're gonna get used to it. Again, it's a learning curve. Give them time. But I think all in all, guys, I think we're gonna be okay. I think I'm thinking 55 wins this year. I think we're gonna be all right, man. It's as long as Mike Brown also tightens that rotation up and he sticks to it, I think we'll be all right, bro. We'll find a ground where we'll continue to ascend. On that note, I'm out of here, guys. I appreciate y'all time. Thank you so much, man. Be safe, y'all.
Yeah, so we'll be back tonight. Thank you, Thrillium, Tory B, Fish. Appreciate y'all. Back tonight, probably 9:45, 10 o'clock p.m. after the game, post game. Knicks Rehab will be back. Be joined by AllBall Flea, of course, myself, and we'll get back in the mix and see if we can get 2 wins in a row and thump the Wizards like we're supposed to. And y'all know what this is.
Knicks Rehab.
See y'all later. AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.